the Clippers beat the Suns 131-122. Paul George, 33 points on 57% field goal shooting, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Kawhi chipped in with 30 points on 56% field goal shooting, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And James Harden, 22 points on over 50%, 5 rebounds, 11 assists. Clippers look good. Ty Lue got them playing. And it's not, and plus when you bring Russ, who's high energy off the bench, you bring Norman Powell off the bench, you got a nice backup to Zubac with Daniel Tice. They got a nice unit.
No, I mean, when it first happened, you're thinking in hindsight, how can they all mesh? And the game itself will play itself out. These guys are friends, these guys are home, right? So, the ego is not as high as you would think because they're all actually grown up around each other. So sacrificing for each other here, no one expected. But as on paper, you're saying if this team gets hot, they're going to be dangerous. And that's what we're seeing now.
It is. And I think the biggest thing was that Russ, being the unselfish player that he was, says, you know what, I head to the bench. Because I don't know if they could have had this kind of success if Russ stays in the starting lineup. So now Russ goes to the bench. He says, I'll be the leader of the shock troops. And hey, whatever you guys need, if you need me in there in the closing lineup in the fourth quarter, I'm there. But let me run the shock troops. Harden, PG, Kawhi, y'all handle that. And if y'all need Norman Powell and myself late down the stretch, we're there. Terrence Mann, Terrence Mann's going to give you every guy. He's streaky. He can get hot. He's going to play outstanding defense. He's going to get you a lot of loose balls. And Ty Lue has them playing very, very well. They're gonna be, if the only thing that concerns you is how healthy will Kawhi be down the stretch into the playoffs. Same thing with Paul George.
And that's the funny thing. They have so many superstars on one team. If one is not healthy, they still have 3 mega guys, right? This lets you know the difference between coaches, right? And no knock against Ham. We've seen how Ham dealt with Russell, right? Yes. We see how Ham's dealing with D'Lo and Reeves, right?
Yes.
Right. And now we see how Ty Lue, he let the player himself look at the situation and say, hey, I'll come off the bench, which means because he is choosing to do it, he's accepted that role, which makes it funner. If you put him on the bench and he wasn't ready to accept it, now you have a bitter guy on the bench. Right. Which means your second unit is horrible, like the Lakers, right? These guys are being benched and you're not giving them no chance. Let smart players who really want to win, they can look and see the writing on the wall. But for there to be a smooth sailing, you have to let them put themselves on the bench. They have to do that. You can't do it. So that's why the Clippers is successful right now, because the guy looked around and said, you know what? Hey, I'll come off the bench. Right. I'll run the second unit and we're going to be good. Do y'all thing.
It doesn't hurt that Ty Lue is a damn good coach. He was a player. He was on championship winning teams. He can flat out coach. And the mistake that they made, even though they won a championship with Frank Vogel, is that the Lakers didn't sign T. Lue.
Yeah. I mean, even when Frank was here, it's like,
he ain't better than T. Lue.
Yeah, you played Miami in the championship. I mean, come on. They should have been questioning, why did you lose 2 games, to be honest?
Right.
Yeah, you should have lost 2 games to that team.
We're going to talk about the Devin Booker, Paul George, but KD missed tonight's game with a hamstring injury. And, last season he missed 35 games. Let's go back. Over the last 5 seasons, KD has missed an average of 29 games a season. In 2021-22, he missed 27. In 2021, he missed 37 out of 72. 19-20, he missed the entire season, 72 games. At some point in time, We give Paul George a hard time about missing games. We give Kawhi a hard time about missing games. We give Anthony Davis a hard time about missing games. It is what it's right there. It's right there. And now you traded for KD knowing his history. You traded for Bradley Beal knowing his history. So should anybody be surprised that these guys have missed? And I know this is only KD's, I think, second or third game that he's missed. But you look at the minutes. Because they're so challenged, he's having to play 43 minutes. He's having to play 41 minutes. He's playing 39 minutes. He's playing 40 minutes. We're 30 games into the regular season. He's playing those kind of minutes. Those are playoff minutes that you play.
No, facts. Facts.
Okay. This is six. Excuse me, Gil. This is the sixth game that he's missed.
This is the game. Even with that, I mean, you're still in the beginning of the season where you're trying to get a certain type of rhythm. Beal's been out, so he's been doing all the heavy lifting. That's a toll on him.
Yeah,
just like LeBron. It's a toll on these older guys for doing all the heavy lifting. We can say it's hamstring, but this might be one of those. We could take a day off, let Bill get some run, get some of the touches. What is it? Load management. This might be a load management time. So you never know really what's behind the curtain. I think we're just all waiting to see when all three of them are playing together and they have 10, 15 games into their system together, what do they look like? And I think our frustration is we can't judge them yet.
Right.
And we don't have a grade for them because as a whole, we don't know what they all look like.
Are we sure they're going to be able to get a 15-game stretch together based on their history? I mean, let's just be honest, Gil. Look at Beal's history. Look at KD's history. Book's been pretty healthy. Now his hamstring, he kind of got a bulky wheel also. But what's the likelihood that we're going to see a stretch where these guys play somewhere 15, 20 games together?
After All-Star break, right? The way it's looking now, I'm assuming after All-Star break, because when KD comes back, I'm pretty sure Booker's gonna probably take a little break. Right? You know what I mean? Like this is chess, son. Like Booker take a couple break, and then after All-Star break, there's 32 games left, 30 round of 32, 33. Let's move.